over the course of the year, you probably having to go about, bumping your team up and whatsoever. So maybe in this instance, it's kind of a weird question, but how do you, what is the way you go about keeping them level-headed and not letting overconfidence, I guess, seep in?
Yeah, I mean, it's new for us, for sure, to score 14 goals in 2 games. But it was new for us to get 7 against Carolina. And I thought we played a good game against Boston, despite that first goal. I thought we checked and played our game, and puck found the way in the back of the net again. But I don't think there was anybody cheating for offense, anything like that. So I mean, we've got our game down. We know some nights we'll get rewarded, some nights we won't, but we'll play our game.
That even keel question seems to come more when things aren't going well. Now you're getting it when things are going well. Is it just as important, though, to have that same mentality after these 2 games as it was maybe in January?
Yeah, I think so. I think the players know. We're not a 6 or 7 goal a night team, so I think they know. And everybody's happy we scored. It got spread out through the lineup. It was good vibes, all that kind of stuff. But each game presents its own fresh start, and that's what we'll have tonight.
Obviously, you score 7 goals in a game, it's kind of an anomaly. Then you do it again. I know you're not going to score 7 goals every night, but how encouraging is it for you as the head coach to see this depth scoring at this point in the season?
Yeah, I mean, that's important. I think the one was, Kuzi hadn't scored yet, so he scores in consecutive games. He had chances, made plays. So it's nice to get the zeros off the board, so that feels good. And then that line, I got 3 one night, right? I think 2 the second night, is that what I recall? So they got five goals. I think that was important for us because that line hadn't really been producing or getting on the score sheet. So that to me is the big part of it.
So Trevor Moore out there this morning. Any update on his status for tonight?
No update on the status, but we'll see this afternoon. Or now I'll talk to Kinger and just see if there's any progress been made, but nothing to report.
How did you like Lewis fitting into that line?
Thought he did a good job. That line is, as much as they've scored, it's primarily our checking line. Louis does that well, so that was a pretty seamless transition for him. Yeah.
Pretty easy to plug in a guy who's played that many games and with all these guys for so long in that role?
In that role especially, yes. In that role especially because, he's conscientious. We've talked a lot about Louis, and so that's a job that he embraces.
I know you talked about the 4th line on the trip, certainly, and we're seeing that they're getting rewarded for their efforts. How big is it to have not only a dedicated 4th line right now, but one that's having an impact as you now head in, as you build toward the playoffs? Because having one is going to be pretty essential then.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear they have an identity. The identity isn't scoring as much as, we like when they do score too, but they have an identity they've had for quite some time. And I think that's really important that, one line, you'd like it to be energy or physical, whatever you want to call it, that you have that line that you can kind of change momentum sometimes, or the other players in the other team know when they're on the ice. And I think those guys have done that for us for some time now.
You're talking about Sammy whatsoever. To see how he's come from the start of the year to now giving you quality minutes within that 4th line, that's got to.
Yeah, what an improvement, and we were happy with him when he got called up earlier. We were really, we were wondering if it was maybe too much for him. You could see glimpses that, no, he's going to be an NHL player. Man, he's actually helped us tonight. Next night, maybe not so much, but now it's night after night. So he's taken a real big step forward. He looks like a veteran player for me right now. He doesn't look like a first-year guy. And at center, that's a really difficult challenge. It's much like defense. Center and defense, as young players, so much more difficult than wingers. And he's handling the assignment, and he's excelling now.